The 5-Second Rule: Transform Your Life, Work, and Confidence with Everyday Courage, by Mel Robbins. Introduction. It's 6 a.m. The alarm goes off. And for the 41-year-old woman lying in bed, the sound isn't a wake-up call. It's a reminder of everything that's gone wrong. Her marriage is crumbling. The family finances are in ruins, with liens hitting the house and checks bouncing so often they've unplugged the phone to escape the collectors. Her career has completely stalled. And her self-esteem, well, that's at rock bottom. Each morning is the same battle. The alarm rings, and a wave of dread washes over her. The thought of facing the day, the problems, the failures, it's too much. So she does what millions of us do. She hits the snooze button. Just a few more minutes. A small act of defiance against a life that feels completely out of her control. But that one small act snowballs. The kids miss the bus. The morning becomes a chaotic rush of forgotten lunches and permission slips. And the day starts not with a feeling of purpose, but with a feeling of failure. This was the daily reality for a woman named Mel Robbins. She was trapped. Trapped by her finances, trapped in her marriage, but most of all, trapped inside her own head. She knew what she needed to do: get up on time, be kinder to her husband, look for a job, but she just couldn't make herself do it. This story might sound familiar. Not the exact details, perhaps, but the feeling. That gap between what you know you should do and what you actually do. It's a gap where dreams go to die. But one night, something shifted. While watching TV, a random commercial for a rocket launch came on. She heard the iconic countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, followed by fire, smoke, and liftoff. And a strange, simple thought popped into her head: that's it. Tomorrow, I'm going to launch myself out of bed like a rocket. It was a silly idea. An idea she could have easily dismissed. But she didn't. And that one, tiny decision to listen to a strange instinct would lead to the discovery of a tool so simple, yet so powerful, that it would not only transform her own life but the lives of millions around the world. Today, we're going to explore the powerful, mind-altering secret Mel Robbins stumbled upon that night. It's a book that has sold millions of copies and has been translated into dozens of languages, not because it's complicated, but because it's so profoundly simple. We're talking about the 5-Second Rule. By the end of our time together, you will understand the one mental trick that can break any bad habit, help you conquer your deepest fears, and unlock a level of courage and confidence you never knew you had. This isn't just about being more productive. This is about waking up the person you were always meant to be. Book summary. So, where do we begin? We begin where all change begins. In a moment of hesitation. Think about it. You're sitting in a meeting and you have a great idea, but you hesitate to speak up. You see someone you'd like to talk to, but you hesitate to walk over. You know you should go to the gym, but you hesitate, and suddenly the couch feels a lot more comfortable. That moment of hesitation is the kiss of death. It's a signal to your brain that something is wrong. That there's a risk. And your brain, in its infinite wisdom, is designed to protect you from risk. From things that are scary, uncertain, or difficult. So in that tiny moment of hesitation, your brain slams on the emergency brake. It floods your mind with doubts, excuses, and fears to stop you from doing the very thing you know you should do. And how long does this mental takeover take? You guessed it. About 5 seconds. This is the fundamental discovery at the heart of the 5-Second Rule. There is a 5-second window between the moment you have an instinct to act and the moment your brain kills that instinct. If you don't physically move within 5 seconds, that instinct is gone. Your brain will have successfully talked you out of it. The morning after seeing that rocket launch commercial, Mel Robbins put her strange idea to the test. The alarm went off at 6 a.m. The dread was still there. The bed was still warm. Her mind immediately started churning out the usual excuses. It's too cold. It's too dark. Just one more snooze. But this time, she did something different. Instead of listening to her feelings, she ignored them. She started counting backwards, just like the rocket launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then she stood up. She physically moved. She didn't think. She just acted. She was stunned. It worked. Something so simple, so stupid, had broken a habit that had plagued her for months. Why did it work? She didn't know it at the time, but she had stumbled upon a powerful metacognition technique. Metacognition is just a fancy term for any trick you can use to outsmart your own brain to achieve a higher goal. When you count backwards, you do a few remarkable things. First, you interrupt the pattern of overthinking. You can't think about your excuses and count backwards at the same time. The counting forces your focus away from your worries and onto the countdown. Second, you activate your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for deliberate action and focus. Your habit of hitting the snooze button is stored in a different part of your brain, the basal ganglia. By counting backwards, you are shifting control from your autopilot, habit-driven brain to your more thoughtful, action-oriented brain. You are, in essence, waking your brain up and telling it to pay attention. And third, the countdown creates a starting ritual. Just like an athlete has a pregame routine, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown becomes a universal trigger to move. When you get to 1, your mind is primed for action. It's a prompt to physically move. And as Mel discovered, when you physically move, your mind and your motivation follow. This is a crucial point. We all believe that we need to feel motivated to act. But that's a complete lie. You will almost never feel like doing the things that are hard, scary, or uncomfortable. Motivation isn't something you have, it's something you create. And you create it through action. The 5-second rule is the tool that helps you generate that initial push, that activation energy required to get started. After that first morning, a funny thing happened. Mel started seeing these 5-second moments everywhere. The instinct to call a friend, followed by the hesitation, they're probably busy. The thought of going for a run, followed by the excuse, I'm too tired. The urge to speak kindly to her husband, followed by the feeling, he doesn't deserve it. She realized the problem wasn't her marriage, her finances, or her career. The problem was her. She was holding herself back, 5 seconds at a time. So she made a new promise to herself. Anytime she knew she should do something, but felt herself hesitate, she would use the rule. Too tired to go to the gym? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put on your running shoes and get out the door. About to pour a drink she knew she shouldn't have? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the bottle down and walk away. Procrastinating on her resume? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit down at the computer and just open the file. Slowly, but surely, things began to change. These small, simple actions started a chain reaction. By getting up on time, she had more energy. By going to the gym, she felt stronger and more in control of her health. By being kinder to her husband, their relationship began to heal. By working on her resume, she started to see a path forward in her career. This is what psychologists call building your internal locus of control. It's the belief that you are in the driver's seat of your own life. Every time you use the 5-second rule to push yourself to do something you are avoiding, you are proving to yourself that you are in control. Not your feelings. not your habits. You. And with each small victory, your confidence begins to grow. This isn't just Mel's story. As she began sharing the rule, first with friends and then in a TEDx talk that went viral, she was flooded with stories from people all over the world. There was Margaret, who used it to push herself to the treadmill when she wasn't feeling it. There was Mal, who used it to find the courage to talk to his boss about his career goals, something he had feared for a long time. And there was Laura, who went from making endless to-do lists and excuses to increasing her cash flow by $4,000 a month, finishing her bachelor's degree, and hiking mountains. The rule helps people in ways big and small. Ken used it to network at a conference, meeting people he never would have approached otherwise. Jenna, a mom and a salesperson, used it to have more patience with her kids instead of snapping at them, and to overcome the intimidation of making sales calls. A man named Mark had spent decades thinking about starting a nonprofit ice hockey league for inner-city kids. The idea was always there, but so was the emergency brake of hesitation. The 5-second rule helped him finally get the idea out of his head and into action. The rule isn't just for building good habits, it's a powerful tool for breaking destructive ones. A man named Bill discovered the rule on a Reddit thread while struggling with alcohol addiction. He started using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown to fight the urge to drink, and it worked. He celebrated his 40th birthday completely sober. The rule can even be a lifeline in the darkest of moments. Mel shares a story of a man who, after a painful divorce, fell into a deep depression and contemplated suicide. At his lowest point, he remembered the rule. He used it to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put down the means by which he planned to end his life, and call for help. That 5-second decision saved his life. So how can one simple tool work in so many different areas of life? Because it's only ever working on one thing: you. It works on your hesitation. It works on your habits. It works on your fears. Whether you're trying to lose weight, stop procrastinating, or ask for a raise, the underlying mechanism that stops you is always the same. You have an instinct, you hesitate, and your feelings and fears take over. The 5-second rule is a universal tool because the problem it solves is universal. At its core, the rule is about teaching you to find and act with everyday courage. Now, when you hear the word courage, you might think of heroes. You might think of historical figures like Rosa Parks. On a cold December evening in 1955, she quietly refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white passenger. Her act of defiance sparked the modern American civil rights movement. We look at a moment like that and we think, I could never do that. She must be different. She must be braver than I am. But here's what's so fascinating about that moment. Rosa Parks didn't plan it. In a later interview, when asked why she decided to stay in her seat at that particular moment, she said simply, "The time had just come that I had been pushed as far as I could stand to be pushed, I suppose." She said it just sort of happened. She didn't hesitate. She didn't stop to think about the consequences. Her heart, her values, and her instincts spoke, and she listened. It was a push moment. Her heart spoke first, and she didn't let her brain get in the way. Coincidentally, just 4 days later in that same city, a 26-year-old preacher was nominated to lead the bus boycott that followed. He would later write about that moment, "It happened so quickly that I did not have time to think it through. It is probable that if I had, I would have declined the nomination." That young preacher's name was Drive. Martin Luther King Jr. Both of these historical giants experienced the power of a push. A moment where they moved so quickly that their fears and doubts couldn't catch up. This is the essence of everyday courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and moving anyway. It's what it takes to get out of bed some mornings. It's what it takes to raise your hand in class. It's what it takes to apologize, to ask for help, to say I love you, to start a business, to go on a first date. Your life is not defined by the one or two big heroic moments. It's defined by the thousands of small, everyday moments where you have a choice. A choice between moving forward or staying put. Between courage and comfort. And as the author Brené Brown famously said, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot have both. The 5-second rule is the tool that helps you choose courage. So, let's talk about the enemy of courage. It's not fear. It's waiting. We are all waiting. We're waiting for the right time, waiting until we feel ready. Waiting until we feel confident. Waiting until we're motivated. Mel tells a story about her daughter, Kendall, a talented singer who was recommended for a major audition in New York City. She said she wanted to do it, but she never followed up. When Mel asked her why she was waiting, her daughter's answer was heartbreakingly honest. She said, "What if I didn't make it, Mom? What if I'm not as good as I think I am? If I don't audition, at least I can tell myself that I'm amazing. I'm just too lazy to have what I want." She was afraid of finding out she wasn't good enough. So she chose to protect her ego by not even trying. We all do this. We avoid challenges to protect ourselves from the pain of failure or rejection. But what if you're wrong? What if you are good enough? What if your idea is brilliant? What if you walk across that bar and that person is your soulmate? You will never know if you let your worries and your excuses convince you to wait. There is no right time. There's only right now. Think about the world's greatest innovators and artists. We imagine they were bursting with confidence from the start. But the reality is, they were just like us. They hesitated. They doubted themselves. When the Pope asked Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel, he was so overwhelmed with self-doubt that he fled to Florence and hid for 2 years. The Pope had to drag him back. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak got funding to launch Apple, Wozniak was so afraid that he wanted to wait before quitting his stable job. He had to be pushed by Jobs, his friends, and his parents to make the leap. The world rewards those who are courageous enough to stop waiting and start. E.L. James, the author of 50 Shades of Grey, didn't wait for a book deal. She started by writing on a fanfiction blog. She self-published her book, and it became one of the biggest blockbusters of all time. The creators of the hit show Broad City didn't wait for a TV network to discover them. They started by filming 3-minute clips on an iPhone and posting them to YouTube. You validate your ideas by pursuing them, not by waiting for someone else to give you permission. The difference between people who make their dreams come true and those who don't is one thing: the courage to start and the discipline to keep going. The 5-second rule gives you the power to do both. It 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 forces you to start, and it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 helps you keep going when you feel like giving up. This brings us to one of the biggest hurdles we all face: our feelings. If you've ever wondered why it's so hard to make yourself do the things you know are good for you, the answer is simple. Your feelings are getting in the way. We like to believe we make decisions based on logic and our goals. But the truth, according to neuroscientist Antonio Damasio, is that we make 95% of our decisions based on our feelings. We are not thinking machines that feel. We are feeling machines that think. When you're deciding what to eat, you're not really asking, "What's the healthiest option?" You're asking, "What do I feel like eating?" When Mel was in bed, she wasn't asking, "Should I get up?" She was asking, "Do I feel like getting up?" And here's the problem: how you feel in the moment is almost never aligned with your long-term goals. Your feelings want what's easy, what's safe, and what's comfortable. Your dreams require you to do things that are hard, uncertain, and uncomfortable. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never get what you want in life. You must learn how to separate your feelings from your actions. You can't control how you feel, but you can always choose how you act. This is how professional athletes achieve so much. They may feel exhausted in the fourth quarter, but they don't act tired. They have learned to treat their feelings as mere suggestions, not as commands. The 5-second rule is the tool that allows you to do the same. When you feel too tired, you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go for a run. When you feel unworthy, you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you speak your mind. You are teaching yourself, one 5-second decision at a time, to be bigger than your feelings. Now, let's take this a step deeper. The rule isn't just about changing what you do. It's about changing how you think. Mel Robbins suffered from anxiety for over 25 years. She had panic attacks and took medication to control them. For years, she thought this was just something she had to live with. But then she started to wonder, if the rule could break physical habits, could it also break mental habits? Habits like worrying, self-doubt, and fear. She discovered that it could. Worrying, you see, is just a habit. It's a default mental setting that your brain goes to when you're not paying attention. Your mind starts to drift toward all the things that could go wrong. The key is to catch yourself in that drift. The moment you catch yourself worrying, you have a moment of power. You can use the rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This countdown interrupts the spiral of negative thoughts. Then, you must deliberately shift your focus to something else. Mel suggests a simple but powerful technique. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for in this moment? You cannot feel worried and grateful at the same time. The act of searching for something to be grateful for forces your brain to focus on the positive aspects of your life. It changes your brain chemistry, releasing dopamine and creating a feeling of well-being. But what about when worry spirals into full-blown anxiety or a panic attack? Here, Mel shares another profound insight combined with cutting-edge science. First, you have to understand what a panic attack is. It's when your body goes into a fight or flight state, your heart races, you get sweaty, your cortisol surges, but your brain has no explanation for it. If you have a near-miss car accident, your body does the same thing, but your brain knows why. It thinks, that truck almost hit us, and it allows your body to calm down. But with a panic attack, your body freaks out for no apparent reason. Your brain frantically searches for a cause, and when it can't find one, it assumes you must be in grave danger. It thinks, what's going on? I must be having a heart attack. I must be dying. And it escalates the fear, making everything worse. This is why telling someone or yourself to calm down during a panic attack never works. It's like trying to stop a freight train by standing in front of it. You're asking your body to go from 60 miles per hour to 0. Instead, you need to reframe it. A Harvard Business School professor named Alison Wood Brooks discovered something incredible. Physiologically, anxiety and excitement are the exact same thing. The only difference is what your brain calls it. Both involve a state of high arousal. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your body is preparing for action. So, the trick is not to try to calm down. The trick is to convince your brain that the arousal you're feeling is excitement. The next time you feel anxiety taking over, you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to interrupt the fear spiral, and then you say out loud, I am excited. I am excited to give this speech. I am excited to get on this plane. I am excited to go on this date. It feels strange at first. But by reframing the physical sensations as excitement, you give your brain an empowering explanation for why your body is aroused. Your brain thinks, "Oh, she's just excited. Nothing to worry about." And it stops escalating the fear. Studies show this technique not only reduces anxiety but actually improves your performance. This leads us to the final frontier of the mind, beating any fear. Mel used to have a debilitating fear of flying. She would go through elaborate superstitions, and takeoff would send her into a full-blown panic. She cured herself using the rule combined with a technique she calls anchor thoughts. Before any trip, she would create an anchor thought, a specific, positive image of what she was excited to do when she landed. Maybe it was walking on the beach with her mom, or having dinner with a client, or climbing a mountain with friends. Then, on the plane, the moment she felt fear kick in, from turbulence, a strange noise, whatever, she would 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to interrupt the fear, and then immediately force her mind to focus on that anchor thought. This technique is so powerful because it gives your mind the context it's desperately looking for. The anchor thought sends a clear message to your brain. If I'm going to be walking on that beach tomorrow, then obviously this plane isn't going to crash. The fear subsides because you've replaced the scary what-if movie in your head with an exciting one. By using these tools, the 5-second rule to interrupt, and reframing and anchor thoughts to redirect, you can learn to master your own mind. You can break the habit of worrying, end anxiety, and beat any fear. As you do this, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to build real, authentic confidence. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a skill. It's not about being loud or extroverted. It's the belief you have in yourself, your ideas, and your abilities. And that belief is built, brick by brick, through small acts of everyday courage. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and speak up when you're nervous, you build confidence. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and start when you feel overwhelmed, you build confidence. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and keep going when you want to quit, you build confidence. You are proving to yourself, over and over again, that you can count on yourself. That's all confidence is. It's the trust you have in yourself. This newfound confidence and courage will inevitably lead you to a deeper question: what is my passion? Mel's advice here is simple. Finding your passion isn't a thinking process, it's an active one. You don't think your way to your passion, you act your way to it. How do you start? By following your curiosity. What are you naturally drawn to? What do you find yourself thinking about? What makes you feel envious of others? That jealousy is a clue. It's pointing you towards something you want for yourself. Once you have a clue, you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you start exploring. Read a book. Watch a tutorial. Take a class. Talk to people. These small steps build momentum. A class leads to a certification. A certification leads to a conversation. A conversation leads to an opportunity. This is how you discover what you're meant to do. You don't wait for a lightning bolt of inspiration. You push yourself to explore, and you let your passion find you along the way. Ultimately, all of this, the courage, the confidence, the passion, changes everything, especially your relationships. The final piece of wisdom from the 5-second rule is perhaps the most important. It comes down to 2 words: say it. An act of courage is always an act of love. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to express how you really feel, to ask the hard questions, to apologize, to say I'm proud of you. We hesitate because we are afraid. Afraid of getting emotional. Afraid of upsetting someone. Afraid of being rejected. But in that hesitation, we create distance. Silence is always the problem. The truth is the shortest distance between 2 people. Mel shares a beautiful, poignant story about a man named Josh Woodruff, who was tragically killed by a hit-and-run driver. A week before he died, a friend named Mary saw him in a grocery store. She had an instinct to go say hello, but she hesitated. She thought, "He looks busy. I'll catch him later." The moment passed, and she never got another chance. Her message to all of us is a powerful reminder. Sometimes, there is no next time. When your heart speaks, you must honor it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and say it. Tell the people you love how you feel. Have the conversations you've been avoiding. Ask the questions that are weighing on your heart. Leave nothing important unsaid. Because in the end, that's what it all comes down to. The 5-second rule is not about hacking productivity or beating procrastination. It's about closing the gap between the person you are and the person you are meant to be. It's about finding the courage to show up for your own life. You have greatness inside of you. And it is revealed not in the big moments, but in the small, 5-second decisions you make every single day. One moment of courage can change your day. One day can change your life. And one life can change the world. The power has been inside you all along. The only question is, what are you waiting for? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Commentary. As we wrap up our journey through Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on why such a simple idea has had such a massive impact. In a world filled with complex theories and multi-step programs for self-improvement, the rule stands out for its beautiful, brutal simplicity. What I find most powerful about this book is that it's not about adding something new to your life. It's about removing the one thing that's holding you back: hesitation. It gives you a practical, physical tool to overcome the universal human tendency to get stuck in our own heads. It's a tool for action in a world that encourages overthinking. The book's central message is one of profound empowerment. It tells us that we don't have to wait for motivation, or for confidence, or for the perfect moment. We have the power, right now, in this very moment, to change our lives. That power is activated with a simple, deliberate push. We are not victims of our feelings or our habits. We are the architects of our lives, and the 5-second rule is the hammer we can use to start building. It reminds me that confidence is not a prerequisite for action, it is a result of it. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid, it means you act in spite of your fear. The book fundamentally redefines our relationship with our own minds, teaching us to listen to the quiet wisdom of our instincts over the loud, fearful chatter of our brains. So, how can you start applying this today, right now? Here are 3 simple challenges. First, the wake-up challenge. Just for tomorrow morning, set your alarm and place it across the room. The moment it rings, don't think. Just start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically get out of bed. Experience what it feels like to win that first battle of the day. Second, the hesitation challenge. For the rest of today, just notice one single moment when you hesitate to do something you know you should. It could be speaking up, starting a task, or making a healthy choice. Just once, use the rule to push yourself past that hesitation and see what happens. And third, the Say It challenge. Think of one important thing you've been meaning to say to someone you care about. A thank you, an apology, an I love you. Don't wait for the right time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up the phone, send the text, or walk into the other room, and just say it. These small actions are where the magic lies. They are the foundation upon which a more courageous, confident, and fulfilled life is built. That was a look inside the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. We certainly covered the big ideas today, but I have to be honest with you. A summary, no matter how detailed, can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found when you take the journey yourself. The true power of a book like this isn't just in the concepts, it's in the way a particular story or a single sentence resonates with you at the exact moment you need to hear it. This summary is your guide to help you decide if this is a journey worth taking. If anything we've discussed has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can fundamentally change the way you see yourself and the small, crucial moments that make up your life. You can find a link to the book in the description below. And, if you found this journey valuable and want to continue exploring the world's most impactful books, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep growing and learning together.